Hello and welcome to Science Monitor, a show that brings to you the most significant news from the world of science, technology, innovation, research, discoveries and much more. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor and here are this week's headlines. India's first robotic telescope growth makes its first discovery and opens up the potential to study transient events in space. On the 30th year of the World Wide Web, we see how information sharing first began on the internet and how it has become a part of every day. In our special segment, we meet Shubhra Priyadarshini, editor Nature India, and discuss the growing need for science communication. Divya Karnad becomes the first Indian woman to win the Future for Nature Award 2019 for her work in marine conservation. The sky always looks calm, but deep within space there are events happening every second which are unknown. These are known as the transient events as they occur for a certain period of time, like from seconds to days, and can sometimes even last for years. To study these phenomena, India has established the Growth Telescope at the Indian Astronomical Observatory situated in Hanle in Ladakh. It is the first robotic telescope designed to examine the deep sky events. It recently made its first discovery of a star, showing a sudden large increase and decrease in brightness. Science Monitor brings you a report on this extraordinary telescope.
India has set up a range of telescopes like the High Altitude Gamma Ray Telescope, Himalayan Chandra Telescope and Cherenkov Telescope at Hanle in Ladakh to observe and study the sky. The location is one of the highest sites in the world to set up astronomical observatories. Over here, India has set up the Indian Astronomical Observatory to monitor and operate telescopes. The observatory is located at the height of about 4,500 meters to provide the finest view of the night sky objects and events. In the series of telescopes, India launched its first robotic research telescope, Growth. It is an acronym for Global Relay of Observatories Watching Transients Happen. This telescope is a collaborative initiative of several countries like the US, UK, and Israel. The telescope is built to study the transient events of the universe. The transients are the astronomical phenomenon occurring in deep sky, which brightens up for a particular period of time and fades rapidly like a supernova. The duration of these events range from seconds to hours or even days and weeks to several years. These are categorized under the time domain astronomy. Recently, the telescope made its first observation of the cluster of nebulae and stars named M31N 2008. It has been observed to erupt several times. The most recent eruption happened in November 2018.
This 70-centimeter robotic telescope is the first robotic telescope in the country, and it will be used for automated observations of transients. So I can see a lot of very interesting science coming out of this robotic telescope, which is a very small telescope, but I'm pretty sure it can yield a lot of good science in the future, especially on transients.
Growth is a 70-centimeter robotic telescope. The three main tasks assigned to the robotic telescope are to look for explorations after the binary star manager, which happens when two stars come together due to gravitational force. Second, to study supernova explosions, and third, to study the nearby asteroids. The telescope not just discovers the transient events, but is also equipped with software to conduct the automated follow-up observations within 24 hours of the discovery. The telescope's observational field is 5 to 6 times larger than a normal telescope. This feature enables to change its focus from one part of the sky to another within the fraction of seconds. Moreover, the sensitive camera of the telescope can record the faintest transient events even in the daylight. The telescope is monitored by Indian Institute of Astrophysics, Bengaluru and Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay. This development will be beneficial in the better understanding of transient events of space which are happening almost every now and then.
The World Wide Web, commonly known as the WWW or Web, is one of the most powerful innovations of our time. It is an information space where documents and other web resources are identified by Uniform Resource Locators or URLs that are accessible over the internet. English scientist Tim Berners-Lee invented the World Wide Web in 1989, which revolutionized exchange of data and ushered humanity in the new information age. Today, billions of people use World Wide Web to interact on the internet. This year marks the 30th anniversary of the World Wide Web. Our team brings you this report.
Today, our lives depend on computers to do most of our work. The dynamic, user-friendly interface of the internet is a multi-layer global network system that connects millions of computers. The cloud system allows for the exchange of data between more than 100 internet-linked countries worldwide. But have you ever wondered how this all began? Well, English scientist Tim Berners-Lee invented the World Wide Web in 1989 at CERN near Geneva in Switzerland while trying to solve a problem of information sharing within the organization. This year in March 2019, the web completed 30 years of its inception. Tim Berners-Lee wrote the first web browser in 1990. Tim laid out his vision in a document called Information Management, a Proposal. By October 1990, Tim had written the three fundamental technologies that became the foundation of today's web: HTML, Hypertext Markup Language, the formatting language for the web; URI, Uniform Resource Identifier, a kind of address that is unique and used to identify to each resource on the web. Today it is called URL. HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, allows for the retrieval of linked resources from across the web. As the web began to grow, Tim realized that its true potential would only be unleashed if anyone, anywhere could use it, without paying a fee or having to ask for permission. By the end of 1990, the first web page was served on the open internet. In 1991, people outside of CERN were invited to join this new web community. However, in April 1993, when the decision to make it public was taken, it sparked a global wave of creativity, collaboration, and innovation which was never seen before. The World Wide Web or WWW is a network of online content that is formatted in HTML and is accessed via Hypertext Transfer Protocol or HTTP. The term refers to all the interlinked HTML pages that can be accessed over the internet. The World Wide Web is what most people think of as the internet, whereas it comprises of all the web pages, pictures, videos, and other online content that can be accessed via a web browser. The internet, in contrast, is the underlying network connection that allows us to send email and access the World Wide Web. It has continued to evolve since the original design and now includes interactive social media and user-generated content that requires little or no technical skills. Today, half of the world is online. It is more urgent than ever to ensure the other half are not left behind offline, and that everyone contributes to a web that drives equality, opportunity, and creativity.
It's time for a short break, and when we return, we meet Shubhra Priyadarshini, editor Nature India, and discuss the need of science communication in today's time. But that's after a short break. Keep watching Science Monitor. Nature, the foremost international journal of science, first published in 1869, has a robust online platform dedicated to India called Nature India, which covers diverse areas of science and technology. This platform, which focuses on the scientific and technological breakthroughs in India, is also highlighting internationally the role being played by Indian scientists. In our special segment, we meet Shubhra Priyadarshini, editor Nature India, who sheds more light on Nature India and the importance of science communication.
Science and technology play an important role in the growth and development of the country. Thus, it is important to disseminate the information about the research and development to the general audience. Nowadays, online media is rapidly gaining popularity to deliver stories to people in the shortest possible time. Nature India is one such stop to get diverse information on science. It is started by the leading international journal, Nature Research. The online platform caters to in-depth science features, commentaries, podcasts, and provides insights on the latest from the journal Nature. In our special segment, we interact with Shubhra Priyadarshini, editor Nature India, on how science news plays an important role in today's time and why it is important to communicate science effectively to every section of society. She also emphasized on various competitions and fellowships offered by Nature India to promote science and technology in the country.
Shubhra, first of all, tell us what exactly is the kind of work that Nature India focuses on?
Whatever happens in the labs across this country, we capture those sentiments, capture those stories, take it on Nature India. We publish research highlights, news, commentaries, opinions and blogs. Of course, videos as well as podcasts as well about science in India.
How did Nature begin its journey in India?
We began 11 years back. We were looking at India as one of the upcoming most wonderful science-faring nations in the recent past. China is very close, so Nature started something called Nature China. And so we made a case for why not Nature India? If there is Nature China, there should be something called Nature India. And so we sort of brought this upon ourselves to launch Nature India exactly around 11 years back. And since then we've been chronicling what I call the contemporary history of science in this country every year.
Can you please elaborate on some of the programs and features that Nature India offers to the people interested in science and technology?
Basically, this comes under the outreach of Nature India's work.
Right.
We train scientists on how to communicate their science better. We also offer a media fellowship in collaboration with Wellcome Trust DBT India, which will pick up 5 science journalists actually from across this country in media houses, and will train them for 6 months, mentor them to write these science stories better. Apart from that, we do have Education India, a program for school kids, where we are awarding school kids from across this country on innovation, science and wonderful ideas that they might have. One of the fun things that we do in trying to communicate science better is this annual photo contest, which has really gained a lot of traction among scientists across this country. What we do is we create a theme every year. So one year it would be, say, nature, the other year it would be patterns, this year it was vector-borne diseases, and we get entries from across the world.
Okay.
And we try to pick up the best entries and create an exhibition of those pictures, and we take those exhibition, like this year we will be taking that exhibition across this country to about 4 or 5 venues, and try and explain the science behind those pictures to the common man.
What, according to you, are the biggest challenges in communicating science in India?
The fact that scientists are reticent people, not generally wanting to get out of their labs and go out and do these communications themselves. As I said, we try and train them better in doing that, in how they can come down from the scientific language, jargon filled, most often which sounds like Latin and Greek to most of us.
Right.
How to convert that scientific language into popular language and communicate it. The biggest challenge is for those scientists to come out and talk to us. So there are lots of things that happen inside these labs which are really interesting, which could make an impact on how our societies are, science as it is. But the fact that scientists do not want to come out and talk about them is the biggest challenge. So we have to work around those challenges.
Thank you so much for talking with me.
The marine ecosystem faces a multitude of threats from overfishing, pollution, and entrapment of sea animals. To spread awareness on the need for the conservation of the marine ecosystem, Dr. Divya Karnad, a marine biologist at Ashoka University, Haryana, has established the In-Season Fish Project, which educates chefs and consumers about the variety of edible species and how to choose seafood that is not endangered and not breeding. For this, Dr. Divya Karnad recently won the Future for Nature Award 2019 by the Future for Nature Foundation, Netherlands. Our Science Monitor team looks at her latest research on marine ecosystem, shark conservation, and much more.
India is surrounded by a vast coastline on its three sides. This unique geographical position makes fishing a prominent occupation in the country. India is one of the largest fish producers in the world. The act of fishing has led to the decline in the species of aquatic animals. One big reason for this is bycatch. It is the incidental capture of species such as dolphins, marine turtles, and seabirds that are caught accidentally. A staggering amount of marine animals, including turtles, dolphins, and juvenile fish, is pulled up with the catch. They are then discarded and thrown away. It so becomes extremely important to adopt sustainable fishery management techniques to maintain the population balance of marine species in the water bodies. Sustainable fishery is the practice of maintaining the fish population with respect to its consumption. In this area, Dr. Divya Karnad, a marine biologist at Ashoka University, has taken a unique step. She has started a project called In-Season Fish. It is an initiative to support marine conservation and to spread awareness about it amongst the fishermen community. For this work, Dr. Divya Karnad was awarded the Future of Nature Award 2019 by the Future for Nature Foundation, Netherlands. Dr. Divya Karnad is also the first woman from India to receive this prestigious Nature Conservation Award.
So as part of this, I have started an initiative called In-Season Fish, which the idea is to tell seafood consumers what they can do to make fisheries more sustainable by choosing what fish they are buying during which season and avoiding eating fish during the breeding season. So we provide information to seafood consumers about which fish is more sustainable to eat and how to avoid species that are not so sustainable, for example sharks.
In-Season Fish is a sustainable seafood guide initiative. It is a unique initiative which helps to educate fishermen, chefs, and consumers on the variety of fishes that can be eaten in different seasons. This sustainable technique helps the marine ecosystem to thrive by providing them the time to breed and reproduce in order to maintain their diversity. The In-Season Fish calendar gives details on the breeding time of different types of fish across the country's coastline. Moreover, In-Season also educates fishermen on the practice techniques for proper fishing like long-line fishing technique. In the realm of the marine ecosystem conservation, Divya is also working to safeguard India's shark population by studying their threatened status in Indian water and locations of shark bycatch.
It's time for a short break, and when we come back, we will bring you some more news on science and innovation from India and around the world. Keep watching Science Monitor. Welcome back after the break. Let's now take a quick look at some more scientific innovations and developments from India and around the world.
Astronomers have taken the first ever image of a black hole, which is located in a distant galaxy. It measures 40 billion kilometers across, which is 3 million times the size of the Earth. The image was captured by the Event Horizon Telescope, a network of 8 linked telescopes. The image shows an intensely bright ring of fire, which according to scientists is caused by superheated gas falling into the hole. The light is brighter than all the billions of other stars in the galaxy combined, which is why it can be seen at such distance from Earth. Details of the discovery have been published in astrophysical journal Letters. Scientists from Physical Research Laboratory in Ahmedabad have studied the sun's behavior in its early infant years. It was done by studying Ifremoka meteor found in Kazakhstan in 1962. The study reveals details on the first formed solid elements of the solar system, which included calcium and aluminium. The study was published in the journal Nature Astronomy. The research will help to understand the activities and events which occurred in the early solar system. A new study has found that India will soon have the most number of caesarean birth cases. There is significant increase in the rate of caesarean births in India. The number of caesarean birth rate was 17.2% from January 2015 to December 2016. As per the World Health Organization, the recommended rate of caesarean delivery must be 10 to 15%. The problem is a concern as caesarean delivery increases the risk of maternal mortality. The most number of cases were seen from Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, Punjab and Jammu and Kashmir. The details of the study were published in JAMA Network Open. Archaeologists have discovered a group of jumping spiders at Ernakulam's Illithodu forests. The spiders belong to the genus Hebrocestum. The group of researchers from Sacred Heart College in Kochi discovered different colored-looking spiders from here. The team examined the physical features of the male and female spiders. The results showcase that the genus belonged to the species of spider from Eurasia and Africa. The details were published in the Journal of Natural History. The study was funded by the Department of Science and Technology's Science and Engineering Research Board. Now, scientists have made the first gene-edited Anolis lizard. The discovery was made by researchers from University of Georgia. This is the first genetically edited reptile produced by the scientists. It took them about 2 years to understand the reproductive system of lizards. The study will help to examine the genetics of lizard evolution.
In the history of science this week, we remember Polish-American mathematician Stanislaw Ulam. He was born on 13th of April 1909 at Lemberg in Poland. Ulam had a number of specialities including set theory, mathematical logic, functions of real variables, topology, and the Monte Carlo theory. He played a significant role in the development of the hydrogen bomb at Los Alamos, New Mexico, US. Ulam's work at Los Alamos had begun with his development of the Monte Carlo method, a technique for finding approximate solutions to problems by means of doing many random samples. Through the use of electronic computers, this method became widespread throughout the sciences. Ulam also improved the flexibility and general utility of computers. While bored at a scientific conference in 1963, he wrote down the positive integers in a special pattern and crossed out the prime numbers. This spiral later came to be known as the Ulam spiral. He wrote a number of papers and books on aspects of mathematics, including Adventures of a Mathematician in 1976. Well, that is all for this episode of Science Monitor. You can send your feedback and suggestions to Science Monitor on our email ID news@vigyanprasar.gov.in. You can also write in to us at Vigyan Prasar, C24, Qutub Institutional Area, New Delhi 110016. We'll see you again next week with another episode of Science News and Innovations. Till then, goodbye and take care.